Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
This is internal subject, strategic cost management. In first semester, you have studied management accounting, right?
Yes, sir. Managerial
Okay.
accounting.
In management accounting, to certain extent, you must have studied about the financial accounting and management accounting. Can you just tell me what is the financial accounting, what is management accounting, and what is cost accounting? So, what is the difference between these three things? So in management accounting, what we have studied, we have just studied some tools and techniques which are useful for the management. Means in management accounting, you have studied some techniques of financial accounting and some techniques of cost accounting. जैसे कि मैनेजमेंट अकाउंटिंग का हम लोगों ने क्या क्या देखा, इन फाइनेंशियल अकाउंटिंग का कुछ पार्ट हम लोगों ने देखा, इन विच हाउ टू प्रिपेयर इन मैनेजमेंट अकाउंटिंग में हम लोगों ने फाइनेंशियल अकाउंटिंग का कुछ स्टडी किया था. इसमें हाउ टू प्रिपेयर जर्नल, हाउ टू प्रिपेयर लेजर, हाउ टू प्रिपेयर ट्रायल बैलेंस, देन बैलेंस शीट, प्रॉफिट एंड लॉस अकाउंट, that we had studied in management accounting as a part of financial accounting. Is it correct? Yes,
Yes, sir.
you have studied this. Then you have studied some part of cost accounting. What was the part of cost accounting in management accounting? So it was like budget. You have prepared a cash budget, flexible budget, production budget, operation budget, right? Then you have studied as well as marginal costing, in which BEP आपने calculation करके दिखा था, fixed cost, BEP, break even point, ये सब कुछ आप लोगों ने देखा था. That is the part of costing. Then you must have studied the standard costing, in which you have calculated the variances. Getting this? So variances means what? This is the difference between your standard and actual. That you have studied in cost accounting. Apart from that, you have studied about how to prepare the cost sheet. Is it? आपने देखा है cost sheet, cost sheet कैसे बनानी है?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this was the part of cost accounting. This was a part of cost accounting. So certain part of cost accounting you must have studied in management accounting. So management accounting means what? It is the combination of financial accounting and cost accounting. ये दोनों का combination जिसको बोलते हैं, that is called as a management accounting. Now, to this semester, what we have to study? We have to study the strategic cost management. Okay. So strategic cost management means what? Here what you have to do, you have to manage your cost. Cost means what? It is kind of expenditure, it is kind of expenses which are going to come at the time of running the business. कोई भी business करते समय जो expenses आते हैं ना, उसको बोलते हैं cost. Okay. Now this cost may be related to certain project or cost may be related to certain product. कुछ एक बिल्डिंग बनानी है तो that is the project. Okay. So what we will do, we will estimate the various cost. कौन से बिल्डिंग अगर बनाने हैं तो if I want to construct one construction at that time, it consists of various cost. Making the construction, it is not a product, it is your project. So in project there are certain types of cost. Maybe cost may be related to your raw material, cost may be related to your fixed asset, cost may be related to your current assets, cost may be related to your direct and indirect labors, and cost may be related to expenses. Which type of expenses are there? Direct and indirect expenses, maybe electricity, maybe water, maybe government taxes, maybe insurance. So these are the various costs which will be there. Okay. Now, in case of any product, for example, I'm going to manufacture one Scorpio product. So again, so this is the product, this is not a project. Getting this? So within my organization, I am producing Scorpio. Within my organization, I am producing Xylo. Within my organization, I am producing XUV 300 or 500. Means what? These are the various products. So here in cost accounting, what we do, we classify the cost either project wise or product wise. If my organization is making certain project at that time, project wise, I will understand, I will ascertain the cost. If my company is making certain products like Xylo, like Scorpio, like Innova. At that time, what I will do, I will monitor, I will ascertain, I will project cost related to specific product. Means cost of Xylo will not be added into cost of Scorpio. Cost of, for example, one product will be not added into other products. So product wise or project wise, we will ascertain the cost. Getting this? Now, this is something about cost management. In cost management, what we have to do? We have to manage the cost. Manage means what? We have to keep control on the cost. Okay. Because in case of any products, the expenses will be there, and these expenses may be direct expenses as well as indirect expenses. Direct expenses means what? Those are the expenses which comes directly in the manufacturing process. That is called as a direct expenses. For example, machinery cost, labor cost. Okay, so these are then electricity, power. So these are the direct expenses. And indirect expenses means what? These are the expenses which may incur, but they are not reflect into final product. For example, salary of gatekeeper, salary of sweeper, salary of watchman. Getting this? Salary of storekeeper. So these storekeeper, then watchman, they are also required. Their services are also required for my product. But these services should not reflect in the product. They are using or they are following some assisting role. So whenever I'm going to produce any product, at that time, these are the certain supportive department whose expenses also I need to consider while calculating the cost of product. Getting this? So in strategic cost management में हम लोगों को क्या करना है? We have to manage the cost. We have to manage the cost means what? We should keep control on the cost. We should not do the unnecessary expenses. We should also reduce the errors and mistakes in the costing activity or production activity. So here what we have to do, we have to manage the cost, we have to study the cost, but we have to use the strategy. So strategic cost management means what? We have to apply certain policies due to which my cost will be monitored, my cost will be controlled. Because see, if the cost of production is going higher and higher, automatically it will reflect to the total cost of production, and automatically we will increase the selling price. Getting this? So as an organization, what you have to do, by using the innovative methods, by using innovative tools, what do by using the automatic some of the machineries, you need to keep control on the cost, which should be under your control. So when we control the cost of product, automatically selling price will also decrease, and within minimum price you will be providing better quality product into the market. And then what will happen? You will increase your sale, you will increase your profit, you will increase your turnover. Getting this? So as a manager, I have to play the strategy in such a way that I can manage the cost. Getting this? So strategic cost में क्या करना है? I have to play various roles. I should have to prepare my flexible policies. Due to this, I can keep control on the cost. So that is nothing but strategic cost management. So here you can't control the cost. Getting this? For example, मुझे एक स्कॉर्पियो बनाना ही है, तो स्कॉर्पियो बनाने के लिए I without engine I can't make the scorpio. Means what? You can't control. अगर आपको वो एक्टिविटी करना है, then you have to bear the expenses. You can't skip that particular things. Getting this? So certain extent I can skip the activities. For example, packaging की जरूरी नहीं है आपको. A customer is ready to get the product without packaging. So you can skip the activity and you can save the cost. Getting this? So here what I have to do, as per the customer's expectations, I need to send the product. So accordingly, I can make the ups and downs in the cost. कोई बंदा बोलता है कि नहीं मुझे उसी अट्रैक्टिव पैकेजिंग में चाहिए, कोई बंदा बोलता है कि मुझे पैकेजिंग नहीं चाहिए. So accordingly, the rate or the selling price of product will be not same for both the parties. Getting this? So here whenever we are incurring the expenses at the time of manufacturing the product or the establishment of any project or the selling of the services, at that time what I have to do, I have to play the various strategies, and this strategy will give us benefit. Getting this? So your so this is about your strategic cost management importance. So in strategic cost management, what we have to learn, we have to learn some of these strategic techniques or some of the cost management techniques which will help us to reduce the cost of the product, to reduce the services cost. Getting this? So here I should not be rigid. So whenever I am implementing the strategic cost management technique, that time my organization should not be rigid. I will not stick with the points. As per the requirements, as per the situation, what I will do, what I will do, I will prepare my flexible policies where there is the benefit of organization. कंपनी के बेनिफिट के लिए जो कुछ आपको पॉलिसीज बनाने पड़ेंगे, that flexible policies you should capable to prepare. Anyhow, I'm not going to lose my customer. Anyhow, I will maybe not going to lose my customers, bankers, जो कुछ मेरे स्टेक होल्डर्स हैं, तो उनके साथ मुझे अच्छा ही रिलेशंस रखना है. गेटिंग दिस? अगर एक भी स्टेक होल्डर यानी जो लोग होते हैं कि आपका बिजनेस उनके ऊपर डिपेंड है और उनका बिजनेस भी आपके ऊपर डिपेंड है, ये दोनों में आपको क्या रखना है, विन विन सिचुएशन रखना. उसका भी लॉस नहीं होना चाहिए और मेरा भी लॉस नहीं होना चाहिए. इसी तरीके से मुझे क्या करना है, स्ट्रेटेजीज डिसाइड करनी है, फ्लेक्सिबिलिटी और पॉलिसीज डिसाइड करनी. और ये स्ट्रेटेजी डिसाइड करने के लिए, पॉलिसीज डिसाइड करने के लिए मुझे स्टैक कॉस्ट मैनेजमेंट टेक्निक्स यूज करनी है. So see here, your syllabus consists of 5 units. So in first unit, what we are doing, we are going to study the strategic cost management, its meaning, conceptual background, significance, then objectives, and what is the traditional cost and what is the strategic cost management. Traditional cost management, that is the traditional approach where we will very much rigid. We are not going to change our policies. जो कुछ है वो है. I will not going to make the adjustment. That is something about traditional approach. So traditional approach goes towards the loss making activities. Let us take an example of some of the Kodak film. Okay. Now there are some of the businesses who have not changed their strategies and right now they are out of the business. Kodak photo, or there are some another also, Philips is also there. Okay. So if you are very much rigid into your product, into your processes, at that time customer will lose your customers. So here what I have to do, I have to survive into the market. I should have to use the flexible approach, that is the strategic management. I have to play the various strategies as per various customers, as per various stakeholders, as per various products. So the strategy which we have used for product first, it doesn't mean that the same strategy I can use for strategies product 2. प्रोडक्ट 1 के लिए जो स्ट्रेटेजी यूज किया है, प्रोडक्ट 1 के लिए जो सप्लायर यूज किया है, वही सप्लायर प्रोडक्ट 2 के लिए यूज करना मेरे ऊपर कंपल्शन नहीं है. I can change my strategy, I can change my supplier, I can change my banker, I can change my customer, I can change my employees, I can change the machineries. Getting this? So प्रॉफिट मेकिंग एक्टिविटी करने के लिए जो कुछ डिसीजन आपको लेना है, वो डिसीजन लेने के लिए जो कुछ पॉलिसी आपको डिसाइड करना है, that is something about strategic cost management. So here what you have to do, we have to study traditional cost management techniques and strategic cost management techniques. Then we have to study about the role of strategic cost manager in strategic positioning. Positioning meaning you have to create the position or the brand of your organization. Okay, and you have to understand the strategic position analysis, whether you are going up and up or what kind of your growth is there. Then cost control techniques and cost reduction techniques in strategic cost management that we have to study. Second unit tells about the life cycle costing. This is the process costing. Then target costing. Then value analysis, value chain analysis, value engineering, value management, then lean accounting, socio-economic accounting, and business process outsourcing, that is BPO. So these are in second unit, we have to study various cost management techniques, life cycle, target costing, value analysis, business process outsourcing, then socio-economic accounting. So these are the modern strategic cost management technique that we have to study. Now, third unit is related to activity based costing. Activity based costing is also now new techniques which is used in the cost accounting. So again, see here in cost, all is about our cost accounting. So activity based costing means what? As per the activities, not as per the project, not as per the product. As per the activities, we will ascertain the cost. Okay, as per the activities, we will ascertain the cost and we will calculate the total cost of the product. So what, once we wanted to do one activity, at that time we will list down the various activities involved into that particular product, and accordingly activity wise, process wise, we will jot down the cost. Okay, then how this activity based costing is much more helpful to the organization as compared to traditional cost techniques that we can study in activity based costing. Then its concept, purpose, benefits, various stages in activity based costing. Then relevance in the decision making, then applications of the budgeting and traditional versus ABC system, comparative analysis and applications of ABC. So see here, activity-based costing is used in the manufacturing industry, not in service industry, because in case of manufacturing industry, there are various activities involved. Getting this, take an example of, for example, automobile industry. Automobile industry is the manufacturing industry. In this industry, thousands of activities are involved. Try to understand. In preparation of one Scorpio, it includes number of products. एक यूनिट अगर स्कॉर्पियो बनानी है तो कितने प्रोडक्ट्स लगते हैं? जस्ट इमेजिन 5000 to 10000 यूनिट्स, 5000 to 10000 small units are required to manufacture one Scorpio. और 5000 अगर हम लोग प्रोडक्ट्स यूज करते हैं एक स्कॉर्पियो बनाने के लिए, रॉ मटेरियल यूज करते हैं, फिनिश गुड्स बनाते हैं एक स्कॉर्पियो असेंबल करने के लिए, means what? Here you are dealing with 5000 suppliers. Try to understand this. So these 5000 suppliers are not from single place. So these suppliers may be, some of the suppliers may be from other countries, some of the suppliers may be from your destination, some of these suppliers may be from other state as well. Getting this? So you have to manage these suppliers, and accordingly, so whatever activities are involved, or in case of manufacturing of that product, that project, so we will list down the activities. Getting this? And these activities will be classified under A category activities, B category activities, and C category. That is called as ABC cost. Okay, so activity based costing. So as per the activities, we will jot down, and after that we will understand which are the most important activities, which are least important activities, and which are moderate activities. So most important activities means what? These are the very sensitive activities where we will have to keep control. B category means what? Moderate activities, and C is the least activities, least important activities. So here we have to do the classification in activity based cost. Then fourth unit is regarding to strategic cost management for certain sector. So in case of agricultural sector, information technology sector, power sector, automobile sector, healthcare, hospitality sector, and educational sector, how you're going to implement the strategic cost management, that we have to study in fourth. And last unit is regarding to your total target costing and Kaizen costing. In target costing, we have to study about the principles of the costing, methodologies, procedures, advantages, and its implementation. And we have to study as well as Kaizen. So in Kaizen, It's a concept of kaizens, how we are going to implement these kaizens. So whenever you are going to implement this kaizen strategies at that time, how you're going to utilize, how you're going to manage this cost. So student, this was something about your syllabus. So your syllabus consists of 5 units. Okay. This is internal subject, but this is very much important for your job. So if you're taking finance as a specialization, that time you should know about the strategic cost management. You should know the traditional techniques of cost management and you should know the modern techniques of cost management. Okay, now let us start with our syllabus. So first, let us understand what is meant by cost accounting and what is meant by cost management. In cost accounting, what we will do, we will just record the cost. Record the cost means what? अगर वो particular activity करते हैं तो activity करते समय जो कुछ cost आ जाएगी, I will record in the books of accounts. हम लोग सिर्फ product wise और process wise वो क्या हम लोग क्या करेंगे, लिख के रखेंगे. That is something about cost accounting. In cost accounting, what we will do, we will ascertain the various costs. We will list down the various costs. इसको बोलते हैं cost accounting. Okay, and on the basis of your cost accounting, so how much cost is incurred for the manufacturing of one product. तो raw material cost कितना है और WIP cost कितनी है, लेबर कॉस्ट कितनी है, उसके बाद ओवरहेड्स कितने हैं, ये सब लोग क्या करेंगे, एक्टिविटी वाइज बुक्स ऑफ अकाउंट्स में लिख के रखेंगे. सो डूइंग दिस एक्टिविटी इज नथिंग बट कॉस्ट अकाउंट. लेकिन हाउ कॉस्ट मैनेजमेंट इज डिफरेंट देन कॉस्ट अकाउंट. एक्चुअली हम लोग कॉस्ट मैनेजमेंट में करते क्या है. ओके, सी हियर, 1 minute. Now, in cost management, it is the process of planning. हम लोग क्या कर रहे हैं, प्लान कर रहे हैं. क्या प्लान कर रहे हैं? So we are going to plan the various resources, various activities. It is the process of planning and controlling cost associated with running the business. Particular business करते समय जो कुछ cost आएंगे, उसका first we will go for planning of the particular activities of particular business, and then we will find out how to control these expenses, how to control the associated expenses. Associated yani which are attached with this particular cost. Means what? For example, if I want to purchase a raw material, there will be a cost. If I want to hire the labor, at that time I have to pay the wages. This is associated with the product. अगर ये प्रोडक्ट बनाना है तो ये सारी चीजें मुझे एक्सपेंसेस करने पड़ेंगे. दैट इज एसोसिएटेड कॉस्ट. तो यहाँ पे हम लोग कॉस्ट मैनेजमेंट में क्या सीखना है, so we have to plan the activities and we have to control the cost associated with the running the business. वो पर्टिकुलर अगर बिजनेस मैंने करने का अगर डिसाइड किया है तो मुझे ये कॉस्ट क्या है, दिस विल बी इनएविटेबल, ये आने ही आने. उसको मुझे कंट्रोल कैसे करना है, उसको मुझे मैनेज कैसे करना है, दैट यू हैव टू लर्न इन कॉस्ट मैनेजमेंट. So it includes the collecting, analyzing and reporting cost. It includes collecting, analyzing and reporting cost information to more effectively budget. So here what you have to do every year, you have to create the budget. So in management accounting, you have studied about how to prepare cash budget, how to prepare flexible budget, how to prepare production budget, operating budget, sales budget, various kinds of budgets we can prepare. Okay. So budget यानी क्या होता है? That is something about your blueprint of your expenses. So it is kind of estimation of your incomes and revenue. तो वो budget में बनाते हैं. Okay. Budget gives you guidelines how to go ahead. Budget will give you framework. Getting this? तो ये budget बनाने के लिए मुझे क्या करना पड़ता है? I have to use the data of cost account. So cost accounting यानी प्रीवियस ईयर को क्या किया था, प्रीवियस ईयर को मेरा मटेरियल बजट कितना था, प्रीवियस ईयर को मेरा सेल्स बजट कितना था, एडवर्टाइजमेंट के ऊपर कितना खर्चा किया था, एम्प्लॉय की ट्रेनिंग के ऊपर कितना खर्चा किया था, प्लेसमेंट के ऊपर कितना खर्चा किया था, एडमिशन के ऊपर कितना किया था, एडवर्टाइजमेंट के लिए ऊपर कितना किया था. दिस काइंड ऑफ डेटा वी विल बी हैविंग, प्रीवियस ईयर्स डेटा. On the basis of previous years data, I can prepare the budget for next year. तो ये बजट बनाने के लिए कॉस्ट बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है, कॉस्ट फैक्टर इज वेरी मच इंपॉर्टेंट. So in budget we will ascertain the various kinds of costs and along with this I will include the revenue. Okay, so in cost management में क्या करना है, I have to collect the data of previous year. I have to collect cost data of previous year and on the basis of this I have to report the cost. ये पर्टिकुलर एक्टिविटी पिछले महीने में जब किया था तो कितना कॉस्ट आया था, कितना क्वांटिटी परचेज किया था और कितना अमाउंट आया था. अभी नया नेक्स्ट मंथ का अगर प्लान बनाते समय आई शुड हैव टू टेक द सिमिलर काइंड ऑफ क्वांटिटीज मोर और लेस सर्टेन 10% इंक्रीज और डिक्रीज एंड अकॉर्डिंगली आई कैन ऐड 10% in cost or 10 I can add decrease 10% in cost. Okay, in this way I can prepare the budget. तो बजट बनाने के लिए कॉस्ट मैनेजमेंट इंपॉर्टेंट रोल प्ले करता है. The cost management practices can be applied to the specific project or specific product or specific company. क्योंकि कॉस्ट मैनेजमेंट प्रोजेक्ट पर टेक्निक्स हम लोग स्पेसिफिक प्रोडक्ट को यूज करते हैं, प्रोडक्ट वाइज करते हैं या प्रोजेक्ट वाइज करते हैं. ओके, तो कॉस्ट मैनेजमेंट में टेक्निक में मुझे क्या करना है, आई हैव टू आइडेंटिफाई सर्टेन प्रोडक्ट्स और सर्टेन प्रोजेक्ट्स. मुझे एग्जैक्टली क्या करना है, आइदर आई मीन प्रोजेक्ट कंस्ट्रक्शन और प्रोडक्ट मैन्युफैक्चर. तो ये एक बार अंडरस्टैंडिंग करने के बाद आई हैव टू लिस्ट डाउन द वेरियस एक्टिविटीज व्हिच आर इन्वॉल्व इनटू दैट पर्टिकुलर प्रोजेक्ट. एक्टिविटीज लिस्ट डाउन करने के बाद हर एक एक्टिविटी डजंट हैपन विदाउट द कॉस्ट. कोई भी एक्टिविटी करना है तो विदाउट कॉस्ट, फ्री ऑफ कॉस्ट कुछ होता नहीं कर. So once we have listed the various activities, then what we have to do, we have to identify cost involved into these activities. Okay, so this cost management techniques practices can be applied to specific project और specific company के लिए हम लोग ये cost management technique use करेंगे so that we will reduce the cost of production, we will manage the cost. Cost management means what, we should not avoid the cost but we should have to minimize. हम लोग उसको skip नहीं कर सकते. अगर एम्प्लॉय को हायर करना है तो उसका सैलरी विदाउट सैलरी एम्प्लॉय cannot work. Means what, we cannot skip that activity but we can manage this activity. We can control this activity. That is something about cost management. So this cost management techniques typically focuses on generating saving and maximizing profit for longer term. Why we have to use strategic cost management? Because we have to survive in this organization, we have to survive in this market for long time. If we don't implement the modern techniques, that time what will happen, we will be outdated, we will be out of the market. Those companies which are using the modern cost management techniques, those companies who are using the flexible approach of business, nowadays they are doing the business. Those companies which were rigid like Kodak or like Philips right now, or like Nokia right now, they are out of the market because they don't have flexibilities, they don't have used the modern cost management techniques. Getting this? That's why here we have to learn this strategic cost management technique. So cost management is the form of management accounting. Cost management में हम लोगों को क्या करना है, to certain extent we have to manage this cost. We can't control, we can't reduce the cost, we can't overcome the cost, but we should have to manage the cost. So cost management is the form of management accounting that allows the business to predict the coming expenditures, estimation of the various expenditures associated with this product that we have to learn. And along with this, what we have to do, we have to predict the expenses. So for example, if I want to construct one building, at that time first I have to list down the activities. एक अगर मुझे कंस्ट्रक्शन करनी है, ब्रिज बनाना है, पुल बनानी है, या हम लोगों को कुछ बिल्डिंग बनानी है, तो फर्स्ट व्हाट I have to understand the various activities. So what is the first activities in the construction of building? Just tell me, कौन से activities होते हैं एक बिल्डिंग कंस्ट्रक्शन करते समय? Yes, students. What are the activities in construction of buildings? Am I audible? Yes.
Yes, sir, audible.
Which are the activities? Are you listening me?
Yes, sir.
Tell me which are the activities are there. First, you should have to acquire the land. This is the first activity. Okay. Acquiring land means what? This is kind of expenditure. So here also you have to estimate about the expenses of land. Once we have acquired the land, then what we have to do? We have to hire some architect. Getting this? So this is the second activity. We will design the plan of our building. Getting this? Third activity कौन सी है? उन्होंने बना के दिया मुझे. Getting this? After that, you have to approach for bank. This is the third activity where you have to take the loan, or you have to make the advertisement of your product, of your project, where again for advertisement again there is the certain cost. Advertisement कर दिया, उसके बाद we have to approach to the banks for taking the loans. तो उसका भी कुछ खर्चा रहेगा. उसके बाद क्या करते हैं हम लोग? Next activity, we will start the actual construction. To start with construction, we have to purchase raw material like steel, cement, then stones. So many activities. Getting this? So we have to list down these activities and we have to list down its cost as well. Getting this? After that, we have to hire the laborers. Getting this? So these are the various activities involved into certain project or certain product we have to list down and we have to manage this. So what will be the tentative cost that we have to write there? So in cost management, what we have to do? We have to ascertain the various costs involved into that product or that project. Then we have to identify its cost. तो हर एक का cost कितना है? Then accordingly we will decide the nature of funds. We need to decide the requirement of loan. So many businesses employ cost management tactics for the specific project as well as for the overall business model. Particular project के लिए करेंगे, entire project, particular product के लिए करेंगे, particular project के लिए करेंगे, entire business के लिए हम लोग करेंगे. When applying it to project, expected costs are calculated. अभी जैसे मैंने बताया था ना मैंने कि estimated cost क्या है? That should be calculated while the project is still in the planning period or approved beforehand. तो planning period में estimation करते समय ही मुझे क्या करना पड़ेगा? उसके expenses list down करने पड़ेंगे. During the project, all expenses are recorded and monitored to make sure they stay in line with the cost management plan. So as per my plan, I have to purchase the raw material. So here I have to prepare certain standards. And as per these standards, I have to acquire these resources. And after the project is finished, predicted cost and actual cost I can compare. एक बार बिल्डिंग बना के एक बार होने के बाद हम लोग क्या करेंगे? स्टैंडर्ड मैंने कितना किया था, मेरा बजटेड कितना था और एक्चुअल कितना आया, वो हम लोग क्या करेंगे? कंपेयर करेंगे एंड देन वी विल ड्रॉ दी variances. So this is something about cost management. Now, whenever you are going to incur any product, whenever you are going to establish any product or project, at that time cost is there. Basically, cost means what? It is the accumulation of various expenses or expenditure during the manufacturing process or during the running of the business. Okay, now look at this diagram. So whenever you are going to do any kind of expenses, at that time this is the cost. So basically cost is classified under 3 categories. Okay, so your first category is the material, then labor and expenses. Okay, now this material consists of direct material and indirect. Labor consists of direct labor and indirect labor, and expenses consists of direct expenses and indirect. Now all direct comes together. That is the direct material, direct labor and direct expenses. That is called as a prime cost. Prime cost is the addition of direct material, direct labor and direct expenses, and इसको बोलते हैं prime cost. And all indirect comes together, that is indirect material, indirect labor and indirect expenses, that is called as a overheads. So whenever you are going to calculate the total cost of the project or total cost of your product, at that time this total cost is equal to prime cost plus overheads. So prime cost means what? All direct expenses, all direct expenses of direct material, expenses of direct labor and direct expenses. So these three are called as the prime cost. And all indirect material, indirect labor and indirect expenses is called as a overheads. So if I go to calculate the cost of production, at that time I have to add a direct material, I have to add a direct labor, I have to add a direct expenses, then I have to add indirect material, then I have to add indirect labor and indirect expenses. Getting this? So this cost consists of material, labor and expenses. Material is classified into direct material, indirect material. Labor is classified into direct labor, indirect labor, and expenses is classified into direct expenses and indirect expenses. Okay. Now overheads. अभी हम लोगों ने इसी स्लाइड में देखा कि प्राइम कॉस्ट और ओवरहेड्स होते हैं. प्राइम कॉस्ट यानी क्या है कि डायरेक्ट जितनी भी कॉस्ट है वो सारी कॉस्ट किसमें जाती है? प्राइम कॉस्ट में जाती है. और सारे ओवरहेड्स होते हैं, इनडायरेक्ट कॉस्ट जो जाते हैं, तो ओवरहेड्स को क्या बोलते हैं? इनडायरेक्ट एक्सपेंसेस जो होती है कंपनी में उसको बोलते हैं ओवरहेड्स. ओके, नाउ लेट अस थिंक अबाउट दिस कॉस्ट. Now direct cost means what? It is the cost which is directly linked with manufacturing activity. For example, material cost is the direct cost. Getting this? Direct material, inventory, cost of raw material, cost of WIP, cost of finished goods. Getting this? Purchases is your direct cost, direct material cost. Indirect material cost means what? During this process, I am going to use some of the nails, some of the papers, some of the gums, some of the stickers. So these are supportive material. इसको बोलते हैं indirect material. So here cost consists of direct material as well as indirect material. Then labor, direct labor यानी जो लेबर मशीनरी के ऊपर काम करते हैं, they are directly participating into production activities. Indirect labor यानी they are just helpers, supervisor, they are just helpers like supervisors, managers, then watchman, then your maintenance department, R&D department. So यहाँ पे जो काम करते हैं ये सारे लोग काम पे आते हैं indirect labor में. और some of the sweepers, helpers, उनकी सैलरी हम लोग indirect labor में काम करते हैं. Getting this? Expenses again classified into direct expenses and indirect expenses. Direct expenses यानी those expenses which are directly connected with production activities. Okay, तो कौन से expenses होते हैं? Production, factory electricity, factory rent, उसके बाद oil. Getting this? So yes, then transportation cost. So these are the direct expenses. And indirect expenses में यानी indirect expenses यानी water bill, canteen bill. Okay, उसके बाद warehouse charges. So these are called as your indirect overheads, indirect expenses. तो ये सारे indirect इकट्ठा होके उसको overhead बोलते हैं और वो सारे direct इकट्ठा होके उसको क्या बोलते हैं? Prime cost. So whenever you are going to find out the total cost of product, that time this total cost of product consists of prime cost plus overheads. Now overhead यानी क्या है? Indirect expenses को overheads बोलते हैं, accounting में overheads बोलते हैं. All indirect expenses are called as a overhead. Okay. Now overheads में on the basis of nature, overheads are classified among 5 groups. Just look to this slide, then we will discuss. So whenever you are going to study the cost, at that time we need to understand what is the cost, what is the prime cost, what is factory cost, and what is called as a overheads. Just look towards these 5 categories, then we will discuss. Okay. Now see here. Overheads means what? Indirect cost. Indirect cost or these overheads are classified under 5 categories. First is on the basis of nature, on the basis of variability, on the basis of control, on the basis of functions, and on the basis of knowledge. On the basis of nature, indirect costs are classified into indirect material, indirect labor, and indirect expenses. Indirect means what? These are the costs which are indirectly taking part into manufacturing activities. जो directly participation नहीं होते हैं ऐसे expenses को indirect expenses बोलते हैं. So कौन से indirect material है? For example, अगर मुझे एक binding, अगर मैं book binding का मेरा business है, तो in that case I am using stapler, staple pins. Then I will use gum, Fevicol. That will not reflect into your finished product. उसका finished products में existence दिखता नहीं, लेकिन वो लगता है. उसको बोलते हैं indirect material. Then indirect labor यानी आपके helpers, मेन जो लेबर काम करते हैं मशीनरी के ऊपर, उसको सपोर्टिंग में हम लोगों ने क्या किया है? हेल्पर्स दे दिए. तो हेल्पर का सैलरी इनडायरेक्ट लेबर में है. और वेजेस जो लेबर का सैलरी आपके डायरेक्ट लेबर में आएगा. देन इनडायरेक्ट एक्सपेंसेस यानी अभी जो मैंने एग्जांपल दी थे, कैंटीन बिल, रिसर्च एंड डेवलपमेंट, देन ट्रेनिंग, एडवर्टाइजमेंट, प्लेसमेंट, तो ये सारे इनडायरेक्ट एक्सपेंसेस. दैट इनडायरेक्ट एक्सपेंसेस आर कम्स अंडर ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ नेचर. तो ओवरहेड का क्लासिफिकेशन नेचर के हिसाब से इनडायरेक्ट मटेरियल, इनडायरेक्ट लेबर एंड इनडायरेक्ट एक्सपेंसेस पे होता है. On the basis of variability यानी certain cost may be fixed or certain cost may be variable or certain cost may be semi-variable. On the basis of its variability, overheads are classified, that is fixed variable or fixed overheads, variable overheads, and semi-variable overheads. It is also called as a fixed cost, variable cost, and semi-variable cost. For example, rent is the fixed. कितना भी मैन्युफैक्चरिंग करो उसी बिल्डिंग का रेंट फिक्स है. वेरिएबल यानी फ्यूल, जितना मशीनरी रन करोगे, जितना गाड़ी घुमाओगे, उतना मुझे पेट्रोल का बिल आए. दैट इज द वेरिएबल. सेमी वेरिएबल मींस टू सर्टेन एक्सटेंट दिस कॉस्ट आर फिक्स्ड. आफ्टर दैट टेलीफोन चार्जेस मिनिमम इतना, उसके बाद 30 रुपीज पर जीबी पर केबी जो कुछ लगता है ना, दैट इज टू सर्टेन एक्सपेंसेस. सेमी वेरिएबल यानी to certain expenses these costs are fixed. After that, if you cross the limit, then it converts into variable. Then on the basis of controllable expenses and uncontrollable expenses, idle time of machinery we can't control, getting this. Then government taxes, we idle time of machinery we can control, as well as time required in canteen taking the food we can control, getting this. But uncontrollable expenses, government taxes, these are uncontrollable. So on the basis of controllable and uncontrollable costs can be classified. Then function wise, the activity wise, production overhead, administrative overheads, selling overheads, and distribution overheads. On the basis of functions happening in the organization, we will classify the overheads. Production के overheads अलग, administrative के expenses अलग, selling and distribution के expenses अलग अलग कर सकते हैं. Then normality, normal overheads and abnormal overheads. Normal यानी within the limit the overheads are there. Abnormally यानी not within the limit. Okay. So whenever we are going to study the cost management, we need to study about the prime cost, total cost, and overheads. Okay. Students, we have finished our time. So let us stop here. We will meet tomorrow at 7. Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Yes.
Thank you, sir.